trust me, they don't want to run against Trump. The last thing she wants in her whole life is, I did this in like 15 minutes, what happened to them. Because the husband wants to come, and she wants to accuse me of things, and the husband's one of the great abusers of the world? Give me a break. Give me a break. Nobody respects women more than Donald Trump. That I can tell you. Nobody. And, you know, when she said that, I had no choice, because I didn't start it. I had no choice. And I did have to mention her husband's situation. Okay?
And the Donald Trump continues again with his counterattacks on the Clintons after Hillary Clinton accused the GOP frontrunner for having a penchant for sexism. The two families were once friends. Remember that? They were playing golf together. The Clintons attended Trump's most recent wedding. And oh, look at that. Back in 1999, while talking about Bill Clinton, Trump told a CNBC reporter, "I wish I could be like that. I just can't." So have the two friends really become foes?
Joining us for today's roundtable, Chair of the Republican Diversity Coalition, Chelsi Henry. Also with us, Newsmax contributor Kevin Broderick, also known as K-Bro. And we want to wish a happy birthday to our good friend Kevin Broderick.
Happy birthday, and congratulations to Chelsea about being engaged. A lot of good news.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Good news all around. All right, let's talk about the situation with the Trumps and the Clintons. Chelsea, why do you think Donald Trump, I mean, we know kind of why. He's responding to Hillary Clinton's accusations, but this seems to be, even out of all the previous comments he's made about his Republican rivals, this seems to be the fight that he wants to have most with Hillary Clinton. Do you agree?
I think it is. I mean, he's went ahead and said that this is a war. You know, here's the thing about Donald Trump. I mean, once he was a Democrat, now he's a Republican. He was friends with the Clintons. Now he's obviously not friends. When they were out of office, he tried to get them to live in one of his buildings, you know, sign up for his golf club. And now they're, oh my gosh, the enemy. So it's just like with Donald Trump, you just never know really where he's going to be. And as I've said before, I'm not shocked by anything that comes from Donald Trump. But I think that for many of us, or I can at least speak for myself, it still, for me, begs the question, what else is he going to flip on? You know, because in terms of former President Clinton's indiscretions, his affair, you know, when it first happened, he was like, you know, it's not important. This isn't a big deal. Now he's making this a forefront of part of the campaign, and his attacks back on Hillary.
Yeah, I think I think, Kevin, it was a very, you know, in Trump's fashion, a kind of a surgical strike. Once he saw that opening from Hillary Clinton, he went straight ahead to start attacking Bill Clinton, calling him one of the great abusers of all time today in Hilton Head, South Carolina. But I think this is because Trump is concerned about what Bill Clinton can do as a surrogate out on the campaign trail. We saw what he was able to do for Barack Obama in 2012.
Well, the amazing thing about this is how silent the Clinton campaign has been since Trump has launched this attack. They looked at this and said, wait a second, this is a no-win situation. Do not attack Donald Trump. You know, they're not going to gain any voters attacking Donald Trump. Anyone considering voting for Trump isn't going to vote for Clinton. And the reality is this was perfect timing for Trump. They're toting out Bill Clinton now as a campaign surrogate after Hillary attacks Trump for being sexist. Now, you're leaving a massive opening for Trump to go in there with airstrikes of his own, saying, hey, you had a former president here being touted out who treated women like they're objects for 8 years while in office, and prior to that, 2 decades long. I mean, you know, the history with Bill Clinton, you can just list the names off. And then what that brings up is it's a whole new generation of voters. You know, 25% of voters out there weren't really alive during these things, or they were very young during the time that Clinton was in office. And so what it's going to do is highlight Bill Clinton's infidelities and also highlight Hillary Clinton's responses to those infidelities, where she was attacking a lot of women at the time who were accusing her husband. Now, she just put out a campaign ad saying that all women who have suffered from domestic violence or sexual abuse should be believed. And she's in this campaign ad when the reality is her activities were just the contrary of that, attacking people who are attacking her husband. So there's going to be a lot of explaining to do, and this opened up an old wound that I don't think the Clintons really want to open up.
Yeah.
Chelsea, I want to go to something that Republican communications strategist Kevin Madden said. He said this strategy works for Trump because it reinforces what his most ardent supporters believe to be his greatest strength. He will say things that no one else will say, but that need to be said. Chelsea, do you agree Trump has been saying that this is fair game, and do you think it is fair game, and do you think that this strategy will work for him?
Well, my style is very calm and a bit more diplomatic. And so this would not be my first approach. Again, for me, I think that the issues are more important. As Kevin was saying, when we look at what's ahead of us, millennials are going to surpass baby boomers, according to a Pew Research study in the upcoming election. And so many people in my generation, we vaguely remember it. We're aware of it because, of course, we were alive during that time. But, it wasn't at the forefront of our minds. And quite frankly, for me, when I'm looking at a candidate, when I'm looking at what's next for them, yes, I'm going to look at their family values, but I'm also not going to hold them accountable for everything that their spouses did. That's just not that's just not the way I would look at it.
Yeah.
In terms of Donald Trump, yes, he's going to say whatever. I don't agree that he's saying what's on the hearts of myself. It may be other Americans that he's speaking for, but just his style alone is not one that for me is presidential and one that I see as or someone who should be president.
He's just doing the dirty work for other Republicans now. So if another Republican gets the nomination, it's going to work out great because all those wounds have already been opened by Trump.
Chelsi and Kevin, thank you both for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to
Happy New Year,
guys.
too.
Thank you.
What I see in Trump is a set of skills that are so deep and so exquisite, it would be hard for me to imagine anybody beating him.
That's Scott Adams, creator of the cartoon Dilbert. So what's behind Donald Trump's political genius? He'll explain in a special presentation coming up.